my name is aichanbot. I'm a dedicated Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel streamer on Twitch mainly, and from time to time we are also making YouTube videos. As you can check out here, we have all our socials. Please try to follow if you like what you can see here. And today we are going to show you how to unlock Scud, which is a character in Dark Side of Dimensions, the new world which was recently released in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I think most of the people already noticed that you have to do 300 banishments to get the unlock mission for Scud in Dark Side of Dimensions, and after that everything is a piece of cake, but until then it's quite challenging for most of the people. And today I'm going to show you two decks which works very well together in a duel room with a friend of yours or somebody who's just willing to help out, and then you are able to unlock Scud and to do this 300 banishments from the opponent side of the field. Doesn't matter if monster or back row, within no time. I guarantee you this will be done within 30 minutes if you just use the two decks I will show you right now. So let's go into the deck list. The first deck list is the Inferno Tempest deck list. So this is the deck which you will play, and the core card of this deck is the Inferno Tempest. This is a card which is free to play, and you can get it from the card trader. If you don't have 3 copies, it will be a little bit harder to play this deck. If you have 3 copies, perfect, because when you take more than 3,000 or more battle damage, not 300, 3,000, for one attack, you can activate this card and remove all monsters in each player's deck and graveyard from play. So you will also remove the monsters within your graveyard, but it doesn't matter. The main point is you will remove all monsters from deck and graveyard of your opponent. That will guarantee you, with the other deck I'm going to show you, over 30 banishments per duel. So that means you doesn't have to duel your friend or the guy in the duel room 10 times, maybe about 7. I think it's mostly enough to get the 300 banishments, and that's why it just takes like 30 minutes, since all the duels in Duel Links are pretty short, about 5 to 10 minutes maximum, and you are done. So the rest of the decks is the Dark Lord deck, as you can see here. Dark Lords, I will make another special video about it. What you need to know about Dark Lord's effect is the effect of Dark Lord Ichel and the banishment and the Ukobak. That's basically what the main engines here. So you need Ichel and a second Dark Lord monster. You can use them to drop them to the graveyard and draw 2 cards from your deck. The banishment will grant you 1 card from your deck, and the Ukobak will help you put another Dark Lord card into the graveyard, which you can copy, for example, with the effect of the Ichel, which can be resummoned with the Contact. That's why we have 2 copies of the Contact in the graveyard. So this is basically a modified version of Dark Lords because it has very strong draw engine. So I guarantee you in 1 till maximum 3 turns you will have already the Inferno Tempest on your hand. Then you can set in the back row and just wait for your opponent to attack and do more than 3,000 damage, and then you are all good. The same goes for the Cup of Aces, help you draw 2 cards. If you get heads, if you get tails, you open draw 2 cards. Doesn't matter as long as you do that in the duel room. If you try this deck on an NPC or legendary rules at the gate, it will do the same, and it's also possible, but then you should try to have like some healing up cards with, for example, with the Sanctified, or also trying other cards which would more guarantee you like a card draw, like for example Yatagarasu or Jar of Greed, or any other cards which just help you like draw a card like Shard of Greed. Yeah. So main idea behind this deck is just as fast as possible get the Inferno Tempest on hand and set it into your back row, wait for 3,000 damage. That's why I also use LP Boost Alpha, so you have more life points to play around, but it's not mandatory. You actually doesn't need a skill with this deck to work. So now the question is, the other deck I'm going to show you, which your opponent or your friend will play in the duel room to make this thing happening as fast as possible, is actually abusing a skill of Jesse Anderson, because this skill guarantees you 8 additional cards in your maximum 30 cards deck. So this is a 30 cards deck, as you can see here, and the skill of Jesse Anderson, Meet My Family, will actually add another 8 cards into the deck. That is totally busted. So you have a 38 card deck with Jesse Anderson's skill. We guarantee you more banishments in one time, and this deck is built around actually summoning the Blue Eyes or the Cosmo Brain, and then just going into your friend in the duel room. So the cards here, for example, the Blue Dragon Summoner will help you mill out the Blue Eyes. The same Same goes for the Mahjong Munya Maidens. By flipping it up, we guarantee you 1 card draw. Same goes for the Descalocuda. Same goes for the Wormlings, etc., etc. So all those cards, also the Bingo Machine Go, all those cards will help you mill out your blue eyes and help you summoning your blue eyes, like the Protector with Eyes of White, Blue, with Eyes of Blue, and the Kyberman that's just the same. And the Hero Shadow Scout will help you, your opponent, so the guy with the Inferno Tempest deck, to mill out 3 cards. So your opponent draws 3 cards, will play look at the card. If there are any spell cards among them, this to the graveyard. So it will help him draw out the cards. But if he gets an Inferno Tempest, sadly with that, he will have to drop it. So maybe replace that one. Until now, I didn't have that case that unluckily the Inferno Tempest was drawn because it was already drawn before. And you can also communicate with your friend in the Duel room via Discord, for example, and just make it happen as fast as possible. And now we are going to check out a VOD. So the blue eyes is summoned to the field. We have 1 Inferno Tempest already set on the graveyard, on the back row, in the back row, and then the blue eyes will go into attack and do 3000 damage, which is the most important part. The other cards will drop with balloon into the graveyard. Inferno Tempest is activated, and as you can see, all the cards get milled out, which is exactly 37 cards, which is insane. Also, it goes for your graveyard is gone too. And then it's just end of game because no one has like any cards left. The guy who's at the next turn will just lose the game, which is in this case my side. And it doesn't matter, the banishments are counted even within the duel room, and your job is done. Your job is done. Yeah. And all you should not forget, you should do that with 1 character out of Dark Side of Dimensions. So which means you have to do it with Dark Side of Dimensions Kaiba, Mokuba, and since you want to unlock Scud, there's only those 2 guys left. That's why either with Kaiba or Mokuba you have to do this, or this training, this session. And then you will have the 300 banishment, the unlock missions for Scud will appear, and everything starting from there will be a piece of cake. Alright, so those are the 2 decks which you actually need. The one is with Inferno Tempest. This is the core card. Everything around should be just milling this card out. And the other card, the main point we have just explained before, is the skill of Jesse Anderson, which adds actually 8 cards additionally to a 30 cards deck. Yep. So if you have any questions considering the video or the decks or the banishment translations whatsoever, just post it below into the comments. Follow our socials and check out our live stream on Twitch, because I'm only a part-time streamer and also content creator. My stuff will come mostly a little bit delayed and postponed until it's on YouTube, because I need someone to work on them. If you want to see something like fresh, up-to-date, on time, you need to check out Twitch, and that's it, or my Instagram. Yeah, I post a lot of stuff there too. So see ya, bye bye.